It was a stormy night when everything started to feel wrong. Daniel Hayes was driving alone on a long, empty highway. The rain was heavy, and the windshield wipers moved non-stop, but still couldn't clear the view properly. The road looked endless, like it had no destination. There were no cars, no lights, no signs of life anywhere. Daniel checked his phone again and again, but there was no signal. His battery was dropping fast. The GPS kept freezing, unable to load anything properly. He whispered to himself, "Just one place. I need just one place to stay." Then, in the distance, a faint light appeared. A sign. As he got closer, he saw it clearly. Grand Lux Hotel. The building looked old and isolated, surrounded by tall, dark trees. The wind was strong, shaking everything around it. The hotel looked like it hadn't been properly maintained for years. Daniel slowed down. Something about it felt strange, but he had no other option. The storm outside was getting worse. He parked the car and stepped out into the rain. The cold hit him instantly. He quickly ran toward the entrance. Inside, the atmosphere changed completely. The silence was unnatural. No background noise, no music, no movement. Just a heavy quietness that felt almost alive. At the reception desk stood a woman, middle-aged, pale, and expressionless. Without greeting, she asked, "Reservation?" Daniel nodded, yes, Daniel Hayes. The woman paused for a moment. Her fingers stopped moving on the keyboard. She slowly looked at him. "That's strange," she said in a low voice. Daniel frowned. "What is strange?" She turned the screen slightly toward him. On it was written, "Room 307. Guest, Daniel Hayes." Daniel gave a nervous laugh. "Yes, that's me. I booked it online." But the receptionist shook her head slowly. "This booking was made 10 years ago." The words hit Daniel like ice. He stepped back. "That's impossible. I'm standing right here. I just booked it today." The receptionist didn't respond. Instead, she picked up a key and placed it on the counter. "Room 307. Her voice dropped even lower. "If you hear anything in that room, don't respond." Daniel stared at her. "What does that mean?" But she had already looked away, as if nothing had happened. Daniel slowly picked up the key. He didn't know it yet, but that was the moment everything changed. Daniel walked toward the elevator, feeling uneasy, but trying to ignore it. The hotel felt too quiet, too still. Even his footsteps sounded louder than normal. The elevator arrived slowly, making a deep, mechanical sound. He stepped inside and pressed 3. The doors closed. For a moment, everything was normal. But then, at floor 2, the elevator suddenly stopped. Daniel frowned. What now? The doors opened slowly. A dark hallway was visible outside. No lights, no movement, just emptiness. He stared at it for a few seconds. Then the doors closed again without him pressing anything. The elevator continued upward. Daniel exhaled sharply. Old building, nothing else. But deep inside, he felt something was not right. When the elevator reached the third floor, the doors opened slowly again. Cold air rushed in. The hallway was long, dim, and silent. Flickering lights hung above, like they were about to die at any moment. Room numbers were written on the walls. 301, 302, 33. Daniel walked forward slowly. Each step felt heavier than the last. 304, 305. The air became colder. 306. Then he stopped. 37. The door was at the very end of the hallway, and it was slightly open. Daniel froze. That's not normal. He walked closer slowly, his heart beating faster. The carpet beneath him felt strangely soft, almost damp. When he reached the door, he pushed it open. Inside, the room looked abandoned. Dust covered everything. The curtains barely moved even though wind should have been entering. And on the bed, a suitcase, placed neatly. Daniel walked closer slowly. His breathing became uneven. He reached the suitcase. On it was a tag. His name. Daniel Hayes. He stepped back immediately. No, this can't be real. He opened the suitcase slowly. Inside were clothes, documents, and a passport. But when he saw the issue date, his body froze completely. Issued 10 years ago. Suddenly, the bathroom light turned on by itself. Daniel turned instantly. Water was running inside the sink. Drip, drip, drip. He moved slowly toward the mirror. At first, only his reflection appeared. Then, a second version of him appeared behind him. Same face, but pale, lifeless, smiling. A whisper came. "You came back." Daniel stepped back quickly. "No, this is not happening." But the voice continued from the mirror. "You never left this place." His head started spinning. Sudden flashes entered his mind. Rain, crash, glass breaking, hotel entrance, room 307. He grabbed his head. No, he'd stop. But the memories kept coming. The figure in the mirror stepped closer. "You died here." Daniel shook his head violently. "I'm alive." But the reflection smiled. "You only think you are." Suddenly the room lights flickered violently. The door slammed shut. Bang. Daniel rushed toward it. Locked. From outside, he started hitting the door. "Help! Somebody open this!" But there was no response. Then Knock, knock. A voice came from outside the room. Calm, cold, familiar. Room 307 is ready for the next guest. Daniel froze, slowly turned back. The suitcase was open again. But now it was empty. Except for one tag. Daniel Hayes. And below it, died 10 years ago. The lights went out completely. Total silence. And then, nothing.